Hey, Vanna. Hey, Harry. Fell asleep right before my life. Aw, sorry, Vanna. Sorry I missed you. Is it? No, it's still going. Alright. You didn't really miss anything too interesting, I don't think, Vanna. I don't even remember what we talked about. We talked about the live-action Zelda movie. I talked a little bit about the live-action Zelda movie. I did. There was that. Hey, Jordan. Missed you lately. Was drunk and had a lot of pain? Or drunk and had a lot of pasta? Fair. Fair. Did you have any thoughts on the live-action Zelda announcement, Vanna? Saw my Twitter? You saw my tweet? Did you have any thoughts? Hey, Clara. Did you have any thoughts about it? Combo's better than melatonin and Xanax. It's true, like, alcohol and pasta? Yeah, both of those things are... Like, both of those things are going to make you tired. Didn't see anything about it. So it's being produced by Avi Arad, who's got a very mixed record. He's produced a bunch of the MCU movies. He also produced Morbius and that live-action Ghost in the Shell. By the way, something weird about whenever I open the game, whenever I first open the game, for some reason, it's always like this, just like really small, until I click on settings, at which point it expands. It's so weird to me. I don't know why that happens. Anyway. I like the idea as it sounds. Zelda would be cute as a physical. Oh, yeah, that's true, Jordan. You mentioned that you've got night classes going on. That's okay, Jordan. You'll catch up eventually. But yeah, so produced by Avi Arad, who's got a pretty mixed record. The MCU movie, he's got a bunch of MCU movies, but he's also, you know, Morbius, that live-action Ghost in the Shell, a couple other flops. The 2 Ghost Rider movies from back in the day. So he's got, like, very mixed history. Director is Wes Ball, who directed the Maze Runner movies, and that's it. And an upcoming Planet of the Apes, I think. That one hasn't come out, so we don't know what that one's going to be, whether that movie's good or bad. But the Maze Runner movies, first one, very well received. Second and third ones, pretty mixed reception. And then the screenwriter did the Jurassic World movies, and he was the guy who was the screenwriter for Rise of Skywalker, aka maybe the worst of the Star Wars movies. Live action Zelda? Yeah, there's a live action Zelda movie announced. Like I said, right now, Avi Arad is attached to produce, Wes Ball is attached to direct, and I don't remember the name of the guy who's attached to screenwrite, to write the screenplay. But it's another guy who's got a pretty mixed... Hey Claire, love the background music. I know, it's good. A pretty mixed record. Like, nobody involved so far. The only person involved so far who isn't mixed at best is Miyamoto himself. Like, aside from Miyamoto, everyone else is like, they've got three names. They're like, eh, eh, eh. Love the background. It is good background music there. Thoughts on the Last Airbender trailer? I don't know. I didn't watch it. I've never watched Last Airbender. Ask Brooke. She's a Zelda simp. Yeah, she comes in. We'll ask her. Anyway, since I can't buy Pepsi or Coke products anymore, I got something new. Cream soda from The Pop Shop. The Pop Shop brand cream soda. This one is, I believe, this one is Canadian. The Pop Shop is like, it's a Canadian convenience store chain. What I've been eating for dinner the last 2 weeks? Mostly takeout, or mostly microwave stuff. Cream soda is good. What kind of? Yeah, Aranaki. And Coke. It's good stuff. That is good stuff. Does this taste like other cream soda? Yep. It's a little more expensive than Crush brand stuff, but and it doesn't come pre-refrigerated. It does like I have to just sort of the most inconvenient part. Yeah, not bad at all. So this is something that I will continue to drink then. Root beer? I don't like root beer. My thoughts on root beer are, my thoughts on root beer are that I love that scene in Deep Space Nine where Quark and Garrick use root beer as an analogy for the Federation. Why would soda and ice cream work? That's crazy anyway. I know. Hey, Color Purple. Sometimes just weird combinations just end up working. And hello, Color Purple. Purple. Hey, Rebecca. It's Minuet. Minuet. Blame the game. The game is the one that spelled it this way. See, the spelled Minuet here in the game. You can't actually see my cursor. My cursor doesn't actually show up. But I promise you there's a cursor moving back and forth over Minuet here. Soda milk makes milk fizzy, and milk dilutes the carbonation. You have a hangnail? That sounds painful. That sucks, Jordan. Give it a couple more minutes to see if anyone else comes in. Would I drink unpasteurized milk? No. To be fair, I don't really drink milk. Like, I don't drink milk, so unpasteurized milk, no. I gotta blow my nose. Give me a second here. There we go. Planet Base or Dawn of Man? Probably not, Rebecca. I'm unlikely to play either of those. I've got a bunch of games that I want to play. I've got a whole list of, like, I've got plenty of games already that I intend to play. Including a few that I want to buy to play as well. Like I've got a few that I already own that I want to play, and a few that are on my wish list that I want to play. So Sims? Ugh. I have no interest at all in playing The Sims. The Sims is so boring. Crambition, a minuet in power bottoms. Nice. Sims would be fun, and you know it? Yeah. Yes or no to what, Anunnaki? Oh, would I drink breast milk? Sorry, I missed your question, Anunnaki. Would I drink breast milk? No. I don't really drink milk. I did not see my mom this week. Saw her last week. Probably see her next week. Most milk is breast milk? I mean, technically, I guess. Alright. Let's kick off this episode with a party! Party! This one's a military ball. Eating all. Yeah, I could get away with this. Provincial outfit? I could get away with the provincial outfit one more time. I'll need to buy some more clothes soon. Let's see. Credibility for being tired. Credibility up for wearing provincial outfit. You step down out of your carriage and hear the ripple of whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. Hey, Joel. There's a small line leading to the open field of richly appointed tents. As guests are waiting to get in, while you're standing in this line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor. You make a mental note of it just in case. Cheap military gossip. A servant wearing sushi on her head checks your invitation, and everything seems to be in order. Hey, Pika. No, lost credibility for being tired, Jordan. I lost credibility for being tired. I gained credibility back for the outfit I was wearing. Yeah, I'll take the small. I'll take the... Spend a few levos to get my peril down just a little bit. Now let the games begin. Martial intrigue, a rather run-of-the-mill interaction with a lone aristocrat at a party. You might find yourself having many like it in the future. Doesn't really get me much. You take some time to go over distant memories of the letters Armand used to send you while you were still in the village. In retrospect, some of those missives may have been more concerning than you thought. Just as you're about to seize upon some valuable gossip, you're interrupted by your presumptuous interloper. Perhaps there's a way to evade his rude questions and to claim your prize in time. Ooh, I could get some big gossip here. I still want credibility for being exhausted. Indeed. If it was possible to become more credible by being tired, people would believe anything I said. You're approached by a woman who is playing a most unusual game with the host. This strange game must be conducted in secret, but is also uniquely suited to your sort of talents. I can get shocking gossip. Let's get the shocking gossip. I would be president. And as president, you would get no sleep at all. While you're taking a moment to compose yourself in the vestibule, you notice someone approaching you. Judging from the way she's glancing around the party, it looks like she's searching for something. Huh. Excusez-moi, but I'm playing a game of sorts. Someone has placed a small pewter statue of a dragon here, and I'm hoping to find it. Oh. Well, that accent was vague enough. Her accent is foreign, but you can't place it. Somewhere to the east? Have you managed to see anything like that? I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds like the hunt is on. May I join you?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it is, she agrees with a twinkle in her eye. Hey, I have max credibility now. I must admit, I'm growing a little frustrated with this stage of the game. Hunting for the dragon statue has a certain thrill, but the real fun is stealing it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's engage in some petty theft. I can think of nothing more intriguing. Let's get to work, shall we? I found my first partner in crime, she laughs. Shall we find a statue? The two of you walk around together, appearing to be focused on idle small talk. In reality, you're both searching the venue high and low for your quarry. Near the back of the venue, you happen to find your prize, perched upon a little podium. A servant is dusting it very carefully. She eyes you suspiciously as you circle her, looking for some gap in her attention. Paralop. I must say, I'm just surprised that he liked the statue I gave him so much, your partner in crime whispers to you. If we want to steal that back, we'll need to distract this maid. Can I help you two, madams? The maid asks, polite but suspicious. Yeah, let's just bribe. Let's just bribe her. How about I help you? 10 livres, just to take a quick walk.
Ah.
I could be persuaded to take a quick walk, the maid replies with a greedy smile, quietly placing the offered coins in her waist pocket. Spent 10 livres. The maid hurries away from the both of you in the general direction of the vestibule, leaving the two of you to your quarry.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing! You managed to be rid of her so naturally. I'll have to write all of this down. Your erstwhile companion hisses to you excitedly, while she secretes the prized statue amongst the waist pockets under the folds of her skirts. You manage to reply with an appropriately enigmatic smile. Ah, by the way, I've heard from some of the other guests that you are a woman who trades in gossip and rumors. Last night, over dinner, I heard something you might be interested in. She then proceeds to relate to you some interesting things about the bourgeoisie. You can't help but cock an eyebrow at some of the fine details of this gossip. If true, this might make quite the story for Pierre. Shocking bourgeoisie gossip, hurrah! Well, it seems our game is over. Hopefully I'll see you again before I return to St. Petersburg. So I should have been doing a Russian accent all this time. Well, it seems our game is over. I don't know how to do a Russian accent. What is a Russian accent? Whatever the accent I chose was... I was never going to be able to do a good accent. She leaves, and you're left wondering what you'll be able to do at this party that was more fun than that. If nothing else, you're looking forward to finding out. Yeah, some memories still. The 100 grand candy bars in Canada? I'm not sure, Jordan. Do a Jamaican accent? I'd rather not. That feels like it'd be racist somehow. Try, like me, like, I am white enough that trying a Jamaican accent feels like it would be racist. Yo, like if I'm butchering an English accent, a French accent, a German accent, whatever. If I'm butchering a European accent, well, hey, that's fine. I am sufficiently lacking in melanin that it's okay to butcher European accents. You know? But trying to do an accent of a group that's a little more blessed in melanin? I don't know, man. I don't know. What about Spain? Yeah, Spain is part of Europe. Anyway, you're approached by a woman wearing a green emerald about her neck, and something about her feels wholly too familiar. Is it because she seems to know so much about your past, or is it something else? Maybe do that one a different time, I think. Music is hype. It is. Daughter of a retired colonel would like to speak with a particular young man, but propriety prevents her from doing so. However, you've bucked such conventions in the past and may be able to help. So all three of these are good, really. This one would get me more favor with Armand. This one may reduce my peril and would just be interesting. But this one is about love. Oh, hey, there's 3 turns now. I didn't realize parties have 3 turns now. Neat! So let us try to join these two in love. Over here doing the Renegade at full speed. Bonjour, Madame Decaux, says a younger woman as she approaches you. You are, in fact, Yvette Decaux, no? Uh-huh. I have a problem, you see, she says, opening her fan and talking from behind it. My father brought me here, and there's a gentleman over there who I'd greatly like to speak with. However, my father is a retired colonel, and there are certain expectations of us. I can't be seen approaching some gentleman that I don't know. I'm told that you seem to know everyone in Paris, and that you have no fear of accusations of impropriety. Can you help me? If that truly is your reputation now, then perhaps you really have established yourself in Paris. If her father is a retired colonel, there's also an opportunity to acquire military gossip. I have a reputation to protect as well. Please, tell me about your family so I can decide. Huh. Oh, you want to know more about my family? I suppose that does make sense, she agrees happily. I think you'll find us quite reputable. The conversation that follows is brief, and easily steered in the directions that you wish. On the surface, your questions appear to be about her family, but they're also allowing you to piece together elements of an incomplete rumor that you'd heard about earlier. With your objective secured, you take her gently by the hand and lead her over to the object of her affections. Your introduction is swift and simple, but more than enough to do the job. It doesn't take long before the two of them are chatting happily, but within the stringent rules of propriety. With your end of the bargain accomplished, you decide to leave. All in all, this appears to have been a success. Ooh, ooh. Helping people hook up, helping people hook up, helping the booty calls, helping the booty calls. That's the goal here. You gotta help people with their booty calls. Money, bleh. Alright. This one could potentially decrease my peril by a lot, which would be useful. You're approached by a woman wearing a green emerald about her neck, and something about her feels wholly too familiar. Is it because she seems to know so much about your past, or is it something else? With a sigh of relief, you feel a breeze start to pick up. It's gotten so hot that you feel like you're going to pass out. You're absolutely certain that you've already started to sweat through your makeup. All the same, you'd like to check a mirror to make sure that neither of your eyebrows are starting to flee their assigned positions. We are the wing woman? Exactly. Yeah. I forgot how evil she looks. Your mom thanked me for that last night. Hearing a trill of laughter, you turn away from your reflection to notice that woman Johanna approaching you. She's holding onto the arm of a particularly powerful gentleman, but you can tell that she's the one guiding his steps, not the other way around. How did they live without transporting around water everywhere? I mean, water was still moved around. The things like tea, wine... I think those actually ended up being more common. Yvette, I can't believe you're here. Yvette, I can't believe that you're here, she says with a note of excitement in her voice. I was just telling this fine gentleman here all about you. It's such a shame to hear about how the Baron de Telms absolutely humiliated you in front of all those people. I can't imagine how awful it was to endure such a vile debasement. Truly unfortunate. Where are their Stanley sippy cups? The gentleman with her looks over at you and gasps. I remember hearing of this. Such unfortunate business, he says with pity, which is not exactly the emotion you hope to inspire in people tonight. Well, all things considered, you've done quite well for yourself, Joanna says, scrutinizing you carefully. In a provincial village like yours, I can see why Armand would have taken quite a liking to you. Then again, I imagine it's easier to be so ambitious when you have nothing to lose. Quite the dramatic gasp. I know. The best kind of gas. It's true. I make sure that there's little in my life to weigh me down. She looks you up and down. Yes, it does put me at ease to know that you're as unserious as I thought you to be. Dang. Oh, my glass seems to have run terribly dry, Joanna gasped in an imitation of surprise. Hey, Scrapegoat. Canteen in their huge inside pocket? Probably. Monsieur, would you mind fetching me a drink? What? Oh, but of course, Madame Desjardins, the gentleman replies, seemingly oblivious. With that, he departs, leaving you alone with Johanna. The woman wastes no time stepping closer to you, her voice low. Looking at the greater picture, I know I shouldn't be bothered by you. In fact, we should be of absolutely zero interest to each other. We're merely two women trying to make our own lives better. However, whether I like it or not, I find my thoughts drawn to you. Oh? Thinking about how quickly your star has already risen. Thinking about how achieving those very same advancements took me years. The way she says the word years, it sounds like a jagged scar being reopened. I simply don't know what to do with you. Hard credibility challenge. Ooh. I like this one. I can't tell if this is a threat or a romantic advance. I don't really want to. I don't want to increase my peril. That's sort of what I was thinking as well. Like, I find my thoughts drawn to you. Oh, really? Tell me more. But, this doesn't need to end in open hostility, Joanna. You know that, right? Oh, is Armand's fiancé trying to extend me an olive branch? She asks, scrutinizing you further. Fine, I can accept that for now. As long as our circumstances don't interfere with each other's plans, we can at least be civil. Joanna seems to visibly relax, and you can feel a certain tension drain out of the conversation. Boom! I wiped out my... Lost a little bit extra credibility, but I wiped out all my peril. Boom! What soda is that? This is Pop Shop Cream Soda, PK. It is a Canadian thing. The Pop Shop. Which... I know this is supposed to be like an ice cream scoop. Like, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be an ice cream scoop here. But it looks like they put poop on their bottle. Or like whipped cream. I think this is supposed to be whipped cream. Like, this is supposed to be just like a dollop of whipped cream. But it looks like poop. They put a poop emoji on their bottle. I'm sorry. In 1969, Ramon, no. In 1969, yes, that was whipped cream. It is 2023. That is no longer whipped cream. That is poop. It's time to change the logo. Anyway, yeah. My peril is entirely wiped out. I'm back to being safe. Well, I should get going. My date has yet to return with my drink, and he still needs to be convinced that he should be donating money to further a certain political club's beneficent activities. Without another word, Joanna silently recomposes her features into the very picture of unassuming gentility, and leaves. As you find yourself alone again, you realize that you no longer feel too hot. Something about that encounter has left you with a chill. Write them and tell them that. Yay! Alright, time to go make some money. Wasn't able to find crown gossip in time. Sorry, Pierre. I failed you. I failed you, Pierre. Back to Le Trompette de Peuple. King plans to weigh in on a local legal case where an entitled man struck an officer during an argument at a local theater. Is this attentiveness from the king or an infringement on military discipline? Push the military a little bit more towards the revolution, I think. A group of vintners are preparing a petition to reduce taxes on wine. Are they trying to make things affordable for the common man, or just increasing their profit margins? This one I will sell. 1 in 20 chance of the public finding out. Japanese soda with a ball in it. Didn't love it, but PK does, and it wasn't bad, just like fruity sodas. Always get one with some Pocky. I've never had Pocky either. This one, I think I'll get more money. I'll need a new dress soon. Church. Honestly, I may as well just wear this to the church. What do I give a shit? Oh, hey. Duchess Mary Oozes requests the attendance to their salon. This intimate party is sure to be the very height of Gentile gaiety. Revolutionary gossip. Revolution gossip, alright. Hmm. Three levels of exhaustion. I think I'll rest. Strawberry and cookies and cream. I decided to take the day off and spend some time at home resting and recuperating. After spending the day in, taking care of yourself and doing some light reading, you finally feel recharged. The exhaustion that had been affecting you before has passed. May 22nd. I have no quotes that the church likes, because I don't really give a shit about the church, frankly. I don't care about them. I don't care about their opinion. Anyway, Feast of St. Michael. So we're attending a Feast of St. Michael. Blah, blah, blah. Cheap church gossip. Enter the party. She curtsies to you as you pass her by and enter the party. Now let the games begin! You find yourself speaking with a woman who could tell you of some gossip concerning the church. All you have to do is deflect the tiresome bloviating of a particularly boastful church patron. Pierre's former colleague, Anne de Croismare, may have some rumors concerning the church's current political allies. However, it would take some convincing to get a hold of them. Get some shocking gossip. Yeah, whatever. It appears that the party's host has left their study unlocked. Can get some cheap gossip. Whatever. What's included in the feast? Better have cheesecake? I don't know. Oh, only 2 turns for this one. Why did the last one have 3 turns? That's weird. Last party had 3 turns, but this one only has 2. Well, I'm not going to complain, I guess. Anyway. Let's try to get some church gossip. Your latest conversation is taking place in a rather gaudy chapel, separated from the rest of the guests. Bathed in the light of a few votive candles, you're speaking with a woman who apparently knows quite a bit about the party's host. Any gossip you manage to obtain from her would clearly concern the church. In fact, you feel like the details would be rather shocking, which could be quite valuable. Suddenly a man approaches the two of you, speaking at a jarringly loud volume. Good afternoon, mesdames! I see you 2 fine ladies are enjoying the chapel that I donated the funds for. Quite a lovely piece of architecture, isn't it? She's cute. I like her dress. She is cute. I've often felt that piety is best expressed with marble and gilt. Ah, well, that's quite generous of you, she replies, taken aback by his sudden appearance in your conversation. Swollen with pride, you see him inhaling, preparing for what will be a flood of words. Ah, then you're in luck. My friend was telling a story you'd love to hear. Really? You think you'd enjoy this? Oh, by all means, madame. He nods his head to the woman, almost puzzled at the idea that someone else could contribute something to a conversation. Oh, merci beaucoup, she nods to you. You see, I was just getting to the best part. What's that accent? It's French! These are all French accents that I'm doing. This is what French people sound like, don't you know? Shocking church gossip. Nice. With your valuable information obtained, you sit back and allow the interloper to flood the both of you with a deluge of his irrelevant stories about how important he is to the local parish. Clearly he was never told that humility was a virtue, or that silence was golden. So, honestly, I kind of had fun doing that voice. I might have to do that voice more often, because that was actually kind of fun to do. I entertained myself with that voice, too. They said he was speaking in a loud volume, so... That's what that accent was. That accent was loud. Yeah. PK, you asked what that accent was? It was loud. However, you quickly realize that there's no end to his self-aggrandizements. So, sensing the first opening in his words, you leave as fast as your feet can carry you. A jilted gentleman has sought out your company, and he has quite the grudge to settle. However, firmly held grudges often lead to loose tongues. You come across a priest off in a corner, hiding from the other guests. He seems bookish and shy, but also quite sweet. Something about him feels like it bears further investigation. I don't care. And kind of torn. Backstory, or some dude who's mad at me. one seems like it'd be fun. A jilted gentleman has sought out your company, and he has quite the grudge to settle. Between clusters at this party, you notice an older, distinguished man. He's standing by himself, but swaying quite a bit, which is very good. After all, a drunkard and their secrets are easily parted. You immediately head over.
Bonjour, Madame Locard. I'm glad to be in your infamous presence. In fact, it is most fitting that you are here with me. After all, you and I are not so different. We are both innocent people who have been spurned for reasons that we do not control.
He slurs between sips of his wine. Lowering his voice to a stage whisper, he confides to you.
Also, between you and I, I've always thought Maximin was a self-important opportunist. Damn it all. Where was I? My family has always been a loyal and Catholic one. In fact, my great-grandfather fought beside His Eminence, Cardinal Richelieu, at La Rochelle. When my wife fell terribly ill last year, I donated much of our fortune so that the priest might pray for her health. Yet, despite my generosity and their prayers, she died all the same. It was some consolation to find out that our community's donations will be used to fund the construction of a new chapel a few blocks from here. Then, yesterday I went to that very chapel and found my wife's name to be absent from the list of dedications. I've lobbied the bishop repeatedly about this injustice, but he claims to be too busy at the moment and has no time. It is an outrage of the worst sort. Which is why I'm here, drunk, and concocting a way to correct this dishonor. The only solution is vengeance! I kind of like this one. The only solution is vengeance! If you wish to feel better, telling me about their failings might bring you comfort. The failings, you say? Something like rumors, you say? He asks aloud, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. That's a fantastic idea. In fact, I know just the thing, he continues in a low voice. Shocking church gossip. Hurrah! The conversation continues a while longer, and you attempt to ply him with more wine, but it doesn't feel like you'll get anything beyond what you just learned. Your conversation slowly loses energy, and the two of you go your separate ways. The widower stumbles away from you, his path winding back and forth like a lazy river. You search around the rest of the party to see if there's anyone else you can talk to before the event finishes up. This is a voice from the Princess Bride. Again, honestly, that was me trying to do drunk. That was me trying to sound drunk. Did I sound drunk at all? Because I was trying to sound drunk. I got one piece of cheap church gossip and two pieces of shocking church gossip. Hurrah! Which means, as always, sound like a different person? Madame the camarade, bourgeoisie gossip. Do business, else? A bishop has called for the censorship of an opera critical of the church. The king has signaled his assent, but has taken weeks to make a pronouncement. Is the king taking the request seriously or ignoring it? Who cares about the church?
A bishop has recently intervened on behalf of a group of accused prostitutes. Is he protecting the virtue of innocent women or trying to cover his own vices? Andre the Giant drunk? I mean, that's just Andre the Giant. I think I remember hearing once that Andre the Giant knocked back like 150 beers in one sitting. The man loved his drink, and he was big enough that it took a lot of drink to get him drunk. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 150 beers he knocked back once. In one single sitting. Which is a ludicrous amount. On the other hand, the cans were the size of his, were the smaller than his hands. You know, like he'd pick up a beer can, and it was like, it looked like one of those like, you know those kid-sized soda cans? That's why he died. I mean, he died because he was so fucking huge. And, like, that gave him health issues all his life. His size gave him health issues all his life. Combine that with drinking drugs and being a pro wrestler, which is really an unhealthy profession. One of the least healthy professions out there. Yeah, it's no wonder he died young. But man, what a life he lived. There's some amazing stories about Andre the Giant. Apparently he was at a bar once, obviously, and this group of college students tried to pick a fight with him. For some reason. Like, why would you pick a fight with Andre the fucking Giant? So, like, they tried to pick a fight with him, and he stood up, and the kids just fucking ran. They ran back to their car, being chased all the way by Andre the Giant. So they got in their car, and they felt they were safe, until Andre just grabbed the car, and flipped it over. That's one of the stories that some people doubt, because cars are heavy. A car with 4 people in it, like, that's a lot of weight. Even for someone like Andre the Giant, that would be really, really heavy. But he was pissed. He was angry. So, I choose to believe that he flipped a car full of dumbass college students who picked a fight with him. Just to say, my absolute favorite Andre the Giant story has to be... Second favorite. My favorite Andre the Giant story is the fact that... oh, shit. Mandy Patinkin. On the set of The Princess Bride, Andre was struggling with his lines. So Mandy Patinkin slapped him and said, "Faster, Fezzik, faster!" Like, not a lot of people slapped Andre and, like, got away with it. So that's my favorite Andre the Giant story. The second favorite, and this one is corroborated by Ric Flair, who was present at the time. So, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, and a couple of other wrestlers whose names escape me. They were like sort of old-timey wrestlers. I mean, not old-timey, but they were like 80s. This is like 80s that this happened. 70, yeah, I think it was the 80s. Like 70s or 80s. So wrestlers like from, decades ago. Wrestlers who retired and probably died a while ago. But yeah, Andre, Ric Flair, and a couple of other wrestlers were having some drinks, having dinner and some drinks at a restaurant that was on a river. It was like beside a river, like a patio right beside the river. And one of the wrestlers, for some godforsaken reason, decided to sucker punch Andre. Out of nowhere. Being spurred on by the other dude there. Andre, who had a bit of a temper, got pissed. So he grabbed the two of them and just shoved them into the water. It's just like grabbed them and just started drowning them in the river. And Ric Flair is just like, oh, I'm not getting involved in this shit. I'm staying out of this shit. Like, the shit Ric Flair's backing away like, oh, angry Andre, I'm out. So it's one of those things where it's like, guys, you have to be smart about who you pick a fight with. You gotta be careful about this shit. Don't pick a fight with Andre the Giant. He will straight up attempt to murder you. See, Andre the Giant nearly murdering a couple of guys is a great story. Unless you want to act up. He was so kind, though. He was, but he had a temper. He absolutely had a temper. Yeah, unless you want to act tough. I mean, the truth is, like, unless you want to act tough, acting tough is going to go out the window real fast when Andre turns to face you. It's like, there have been a tiny number of people who Andre actually felt intimidated by. I will say this. There were like 2 people that Andre the Giant was like, no, that guy scares me. That guy's fucking tough. Like, that guy's tough. Did he ever get married? I'm not sure. And I'm blanking on the name of the guy. But there was one dude who was just absolutely batshit insane. He bit a dude's nose off. Got pepper sprayed and snapped handcuffs. Like, he got in a bar fight, and, like, cops showed up, handcuffed him, and then pepper sprayed him. And, like, the pepper spray, he just sort of... After getting pepper sprayed, that was when he broke the handcuffs and continued the fight after being pepper sprayed. Like, I'm totally blanking on the guy's name, but he was absolutely insane. Just the craziest fucking dude in wrestling history. Which is saying something. Because every pro wrestler is fucking broken in the head. And this guy was the one that other pro wrestlers were like, oh, he is fucking insane. That is the guy you do not mess with. Anyway, yeah. Bishop protecting prostitutes. Do I maybe want to decrease the church's power? I forget how much power the church even has. Yeah, let's decrease the church. Let's decrease the power of the church, because fuck the church. And representatives from the Third Estate have been calling on priests to rally in favor of land reforms. Is this a recognition of the church's authority, or crude saber rattling? And that'll just sell. Because I need my money. Yeah, right. Rent and wages.
Aha.
Merci beaucoup, madame! What is the next party? Bourgeoisie. Oh. Military ball. Viscount Jean-Pierre Amboise. Spectacular display of gentile gaiety. Fine, sure, whatever. But for now, I need some new clothes. Yeah, let's buy this one for... military and stuff. This one for the revolution. Or for the bourgeoisie, I mean. Yeah, sure. 3 new outfits, that'll be good. Wow, that's a lot of parties in close right around each other. Viscount Gaspard Montfort. Feast of St. Michael. Didn't we just have a Feast of St. Michael? Grand party is sure to be of joyous revelry. Well, fuck it, whatever. Yeah. Alright, this is the bourgeoisie party, so... yeah, I'll wear this one. The robe de cour. Which is utterly ridiculous. This is a ridiculous dress. at this thing. That is just silly. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Whispers, rumor, blah, blah, blah. Enter the party. Hurrah! Let the games begin. Hurrah! A rather run-of-the-mill interaction with a lone bourgeois man at a party. You might find yourself having many like it in the future. A gregarious woman seems to have exactly the sort of rumors you're looking for. But first you'll have to stave off the blundering boasts of a young sugar magnate. Every group has ways of measuring one's worth and whether they deserve to belong. With the aristocracy, it's a title. With the church, it's faith. With the bourgeoisie, it's simply money. One guest is here to remind you of such things. Amidst a conversation about shoes, Monsieur Guillaume de Sable reveals something about the political allegiances of the bourgeoisie. Such a revelation also comes hand in hand with an interesting rumor. Looks like a barrel, I know. The Marquis de Sable! You find yourself engaged in a conversation with Monsieur Guillaume de Sable about shoes, of all things. Oh. Ah! I double-clicked by accident and there's no way for me to go back. You're not really sure what Guillaume needs them for. After all, he doesn't seem to do a lot of horse riding, and the man is already prodigiously tall. Then again, he truly seems the kind of man that lives the philosophy of less is not more, only more is more. I forget what voice I gave this dude. Speaking of great heights and greater pains, I must admit I'm surprised that my colleagues in the bourgeoisie have found themselves aligned with the revolution, he says, chuckling at his own joke. Especially considering all the rumors I've been hearing about them lately. Sensing your rising interest, he stops just short. Then again, I know how much you love the trials and travails of the nationalists, and well, what am I going to get out of this interaction then? It seems that he's more than content to let this gossip hang on a string in front of you. Give me the gossip and I'll lend credibility to whatever intrigue you dream up next. Tempting. I don't collect gossip idly. Your entertainment will come from seeing what I do with it. Delayed gratification? Fine then, let me explain what I know, he replies, before sharing what he's learned. He's obviously taking great delight in imagining the chaos that leaking this information will bring. Shocking revolution gossip. Well, I must go, he says, checking his pocket watch. There's a prim and proper duchess whose virtues I need to impugn before the night is over. I like this dude. He's very French. He leaves to take care of his dubious endeavors, and you've gotten what you want. A victory, by any measure. Imposter! I'll probably be doing that one. As infiltrate, a physician, eager to court a particular young lady, is hoping that you'll be able to help him make a good first impression. It might be possible to turn this request into valuable information. Shocking or outrageous bourgeoisie gossip. A gregarious woman seems to have exactly the sort of rumors you're looking for. A guest has apparently been entrusted with valuable knowledge, only to make the mistake of getting extremely drunk afterwards. A single chambermaid has been told to watch over him, but you've never been one to let such a petty obstacle get in your way. This one. You catch sight of the strange doppelganger that you spotted before. The time has come to put an end to this loathsome charade. You freeze in your tracks when you spot her. Ever since your last encounter, you've been looking for her. This is the woman who has been imitating you, and even had the audacity to try taking out a vast loan in your name. Now you've spotted her talking to another party guest, but she hasn't noticed you yet. Which approach should I take? Direct, sneak up on her, or take her aside quietly? I feel like taking her aside quietly is probably the more diplomatic approach. Sneaking up on her seems like the more fun approach. Just has me imagining, like, doop, 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 doop. Like, you know, cartoon sneaking, like, doop, 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 doop. Doop, 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 doop. Take aside quietly. Quietly. That's my thinking. You walk up to her quickly and quietly, finding her engaged in conversation with another party guest. Their discussion seems agreeable, and now that you're this close, you have to admit that her resemblance to you is absolutely uncanny. She is lovely. Sneak up. Too late. She is a looker. The woman your double is talking with notices you first, and looks quite startled by your sudden appearance, but you don't bother with her. Don't bother with him, I imagine it's supposed to be. Instead, you take this imposter by the elbow. Gently, but firmly, you lead her away to a different section of the party. Do what my heart says. Once you release her, your double spins to face you and looks you up and down. Strangely, she doesn't even seem perturbed by your presence. Or at least, she's doing a great job of hiding it.
Huh.
I don't suppose it's too late to say you have the wrong woman? Yes, it's a little late for that.
Huh.
Well then, at least let me explain myself, she replies calmly. You're an incredibly lucky woman. People are ruined by Parisian high society every day, but you happen to be ruined in a way that actually gave you opportunities. I realized one day how much I looked like you and thought, she was given a second chance. Why don't I deserve one too? Of course, the first thing she did with this second chance was to try and take out a mountain of loans in your name, but she seems to be willing to gloss over that important detail. Hey, pig. Elf. Hey, elf. I managed to collect some money from sympathetic nobles, and I've had an interesting secret, but those bank loans never came through for some reason. So, what exactly do you want from me? Credibility challenge, but I think I'll ask for just the money, or just the information. Information. Give me everything you've learned by pretending to be me. I see. Fine then. Madame Nicot, here's what I've learned while pretending to be you. She then proceeds to explain a rumor that could be valuable indeed. Shocking bourgeoisie gossip. I guess I should be on my way then, she says, looking you up and down. It wouldn't do for the two of us to be seen together. She leaves, and you're quite a bit richer for it. There's also the true benefit, which is that she's no longer sneaking about Paris, sullying your good name. With her gone, you look around the party to see if there's anything else you can get done here before things wrap up. Yay! Man, I'm gonna be totally dead by this party. Hey, pig really got me. Alright. Back to the trompette de peuple, while the gossip's still fresh. Some representatives from the Third Estate have gotten free rooms to stay in from a prominent hotelier. Been staying there for a long time, facade of friendship, or representatives taking advantage of their host. This I'm honestly just gonna sell all of this, I think.
Ooh.
Exactly the kind of salacious trash your esteemed readers require. I'll take care of your reward immediately. A trio of Third Estate delegates in Paris for the Estates Estat Général were detained by the Gay Royal. Were the gay harassing honorable men, or forced to act against bourge provocateurs? Increase the power of the revolution. A group of vintners are preparing a petition to reduce taxes on wine. Are they trying to make things affordable for the common man, or just increasing their profit margins? That I can sell. The political hobbyists of France have been breathlessly following the events of the Estat Général over the last few weeks, and their watchful eyes have led to a stunning revelation. This revelation is that the Estat Général has currently accomplished absolutely nothing. While the king has attempted to keep the discussion focused on tax reform to deal with France's crumbling budget, every single debate has stalled out due to fights over voting rights and representation. Members of the Third Estate won't let this issue go, as they're the only estate that pays any taxes under the current system. However, any attempts to change this would be inevitably shut down by the First and Second Estate, who both pay no taxes and each have just as many votes as the Third Estate. Yet, the bourgeoisie and the revolutionaries of this Third Estate have been slowly gaining ground in the public eye. Their claims that the system is unfairly balanced ring more true every day, as people all across the country starve. Every day, mutters of discontent grow louder and louder. The longer this impasse lasts, the more the tension will build. However, if it keeps building, then it won't be long before something snaps. And so, in Paris, life goes on. This is a church thing. Tempted to go with this one again, just because who gives a shit about the church? Go with this one, I guess. Go with this dress, just because... Yeah, novelty's low, but... It's a church party. What do I care about my credibility at a church party? You brush off the notion and step down out of your carriage. You already know what rumors to listen for and what advantages you already have at your disposal. I have no peril, so whatever. Hey, Waldo. I do kinda sorta. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for dropping in, Waldo. And, yeah, good night. Money. Jeez, 4 turns. Nice. You come across a woman interviewing a man for the sake of her book, but something doesn't seem quite right about the man's outrageous claims. Pierre's former colleague and the Croix-Mail may have some rumors concerning the church's current political allies. Take convincing to get hold of them. Making a panini, and I use too much pepper. I can't stop sneezing. Send help. Did that with eggs recently. Let's do this one. Take some time to go over distant memories of the letters Armand used to send you while you were still in the village. In retrospect, some of those missives may have been more concerning than you thought. You step away from the crowds at the party to take a moment to be alone. A memory you had not considered. A memory you had not considered for a while flashes through your mind. You're back in your provincial hometown. It was after Armand had left for the Estate Generale, but you yourself had yet to leave for Paris. Instead, you walked around in the cold, reading his letter over and over again. This particular one had been puzzling you for a while. In retrospect, his letters have been growing stranger for quite some time, but it's much easier to notice such warning signs long after the point where they would have been useful. Dwelling on such failures has never helped anyone. Warning signs like that gentleman named Charles, who had accosted the two of you during your last night with Armand.
Chère Yvette, my heart aches to see you with an ever-growing ardor that I'm scarcely able to control. I may be surrounded by companions here, but without you, I feel alone. Whenever I find myself engaging with persons other than my sponsors, I find myself exasperated. So many powerful people calmly discussing the state of the nation as if it were a tennis match, as though there are only 2 possible victors, yet the outcome had no real meaning. Individuals like that cannot be allowed to steer the fate of our people. If we are presented with 2 bad options, then we must force a third. To put it simply, it feels like France is a ship hurtling towards a rocky shore, and nobody is at the wheel. This awareness of imminent catastrophe is the main unifying thread that binds our little group together. Our leader is the only one who isn't worried. She works feverishly, but betrays no signs of fear. I think you would like her immensely. You two share a lot in common.
That's part of why we don't get along, I think. Our leader. You had puzzled this over before. Who was this woman that Armand was referencing in his letter? Was this perhaps that Johanna person you've met recently?
Of course, in the name of building coalitions, I've had to partake in the company of several extremely unpleasant individuals. It's perhaps the only reason I'm glad you're not here, as I would hate to inflict their judgmental presence upon you. Even when I finally travel home from the interminable dinners at their grand estates, I still feel like I'm being watched. I know I've said it before, but I really wish you were here. I know there are things I'm not seeing, things that you would notice instantly. All I can be certain of is that we're racing against an unseen clock. To put it simply, the people of France are hungry, and hungry people do not remain hungry for long. Je t'embrasse, Armand.
Reconsidering these memories in a new light is unpleasant, but also grounding. You feel a little more prepared for whatever comes next. Still, what to make of these revelations? So when I was at the store, I also picked up orange Pop Shop soda. So let's see if this is as good as the Orange Crush. More of an orange flavor than the Crush had. I am in a den of vipers. A petition to make pepper holes smaller. That's funny. I missed that one. I missed that comment. It's easy to jump to conclusions, but I simply don't know enough right now. With that ambivalent assessment, you decide to engage with the world around you once more. The memory drifts away like the waning moments of a dream. Hopefully you can accomplish something at this party before the night is over. Lost coin, who cares? A holy intrigue. A rather run-of-the-mill interaction with a pious woman at a party. You might find yourself having many like it in the future. I've done that one. That was pointless to me. What's the calories? 210. 210 calories per bottle. And it's a 355 milliliter bottle. I have no idea if that's good or bad. Anyway, yeah, let's see what gossip we can get from Anne de Croismare. Croismare. Croismare? Croismare, I think. You find yourself in a conversation with Anne de Croismare, who used to be a colleague of Pierre's.
Huh.
Very standard? Alright. While I'd never do anything like join a nunnery, I've found myself staying close to the church lately. God knows they're not perfect, but at least I'm content with them. In my experience, the military is full of blowhards, and I'll never have enough money to satisfy the bourgeoisie.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, being close to the church, that puts me close to the crown by proxy. She sighs and sips at her wine. At the risk of questioning the moral superiority of those safeguarding our souls, I find it funny that they've aligned themselves with the aristocracy, considering the rumors I've heard about their conduct lately. Then again, I shouldn't be casting stones these days. It's a dangerous habit. There are more dangerous habits, like not giving me what I want. Cast those stones. They're the ones conducting themselves badly, not you. She sips her wine and considers this carefully.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's true. If we're being honest, I'm a little too close to this particular rumor for me to sell it safely, so I might as well let you have it, she says before beginning to whisper in your ear. Shocking crown gossip. Free of any sources of tension, the rest of your conversation is breezy and light. Anne has a certain razor wit about her that helps keep parties amongst such godly souls from becoming dull affairs. Rather than risk anyone seeing the two of you together and realizing that she's your source on this particular rumor, Anne soon departs, leaving you free to enjoy the rest of the party. An unfamiliar young man of good Christian upbringing is in need of help. While this wouldn't normally be of particular interest, it seems that he might know quite a bit about the scandalous goings-on within the church. Blah. Your presence hasn't gone unnoticed by those who consider themselves extremely pious. For some unbelievable reason, they doubt the honesty of your intentions here. This might be an ideal chance to turn such attacks around on them. Cheap gossip and a few coins. This one seems like it's got a little bit more potential to be interesting. And I am no thief. So, unfamiliar man of good Christian upbringing is in need of help. While this wouldn't normally be of particular interest, it seems that he might know quite a bit about the scandalous goings-on within the church. Bonjour, Madame de Co, he says, an unfamiliar young man as he approaches you. I hope this isn't too forward, but I require your help in a social endeavor. There's a gentleman over yonder who has close ties to the newly chosen Bishop of Grenoble, he continues, pointing discreetly at the target in question. I have urgent business with him, but I'd feel far better if I were to be introduced by someone as well regarded as yourself. Could you assist me? If someone's approaching you for a task like this, perhaps it means that you truly have become well established in Paris. If you're careful, it might be possible to use this situation to obtain some church gossip. I'm not sure if I can do that, until I know you better, and what you've been up to.
Oh.
You want to know what I've been up to? That is preposterous, madame. I don't need to prove myself to the likes of you. He storms away from you, thoroughly incensed by your request. You'd think that someone would be more gracious when they were the ones requesting a favor in the first place. Then again, hardly anything surprises you anymore. Interview. More credibility. None of particular interest, honestly. Suppose I'll do this one. Woman interviewing a man for the sake of her buck. You step back into the vestibule for a moment so you can collect your thoughts and get the first opportunity to speak with any new arrivals at the party. It's then that you see two individuals speaking together in a corner. The fact that they're trying to stay away from everyone else only increases your interest in the conversation. You recognize these people as Nika Ekov, the foreign author looking for inspiration for her latest novel, as well as Guillaume de Sable, the self-styled libertine philosopher, an appellation that doesn't seem to require much in the way of academic credentials. Judging from the fact that she pauses to write whenever he speaks, you can surmise that she's interviewing him. You describe yourself as a patron of the arts. What is your relationship with theatre? Have you sponsored any performances? I am no mere tight-fisted patron, good madame. I am an inspiration, a muse, if you will. In fact, when Beaumarchais wrote The Barber of Seville, I was his inspiration for Count Almaviva. the sharply dressed man proudly replies between long gulps of wine. For what you remember of that play, that's not something to be particularly proud of. It also doesn't sound even vaguely true.
Huh.
Oh, this will be fantastic for my book, monsieur. I must ask, how did you and Monsieur Beaumarchais meet? Oh, well, we met at a banquet, held by a visiting Algonquian prince. Answer, did you say an Algonquian prince? He came across the ocean from the Americas and then held a banquet? The author replies, far more suspicious of this particular claim.
Guillaume glances to you and raises an eyebrow. He knows his game is almost up. Alright, he's entertaining. I like Mika. I like this woman. I like her. She's nice. She's charming. And
She's cute.
she is very cute. And she seems like really nice and everything. I like her. But this guy's fun. So scared of using salt and pepper and it makes me feel so white. OxyClean smells like vomited sour milk after it's been expired for several years.
Good to know.
I didn't realize that until I covered all of my carpet with it. Good to know, I guess. I know it sounds outrageous, but he's serious about that banquet. I myself was there.
What? You were?
Nika asks incredulously.
That's amazing! Please, you have to tell me more!
She continues, furiously writing more notes. Unsure of what to do next, you and Guillaume start fabricating outlandish tales of his exploits, of which you were party to many. At some point in time in the tales, both you and Guillaume have apparently had torrid affairs with lusty pirates of the Barbary Coast, perhaps on the same vessel. Nika's writing only seems to grow faster and more intense. At this point, I feel like she's probably... I feel like at some point Nika probably started realizing, oh, they're bullshitting. But it's entertaining enough that I don't care anymore. You could consider feeling bad for leading the poor woman astray, but that feeling easily slips away. After all, history is just truth that slowly becomes lies, and stories are just lies that slowly become truth. How philosophical. Of course, eventually you realize that you and Guillaume have truly stretched the limits of believability here. Lost some credibility. Also, after your font of outrageous lies finally runs dry, Nika leaves, satisfied with her research.
Merci beaucoup for your assistance, Yvette. I couldn't possibly have done this without your help.
Imagine having to read or be told everything you know. I know. Try vinegar, not sure if it would work, but I feel like if I googled it, that would be the solution. This also means that you have some decent gossip, given that you've just caught a prominent figure in the bourgeoisie flagrantly lying about his accomplishments. However, Guillaume doesn't necessarily need to know that.
Well, I'm off to seek other entertainments. Au revoir, madame,
he says with an overly elaborate bow. With that, he leaves, and you decide to examine the rest of the party. Perhaps you'll find another opportunity out there amongst the crowds. And this is followed up immediately by another party. This one, Revolution. Wear a robe à la Française. A robe à la Française to impress The Revolution. Revolution. And my credibility is down.
Huh. Huh.
I need to find some ways to increase my credibility. A pair of guests, harboring valuable rumors, are afraid to speak them aloud for fear of being implicated in the process. Do you need anything more than that? A self-satisfied judge and his sycophantic companion are openly discussing the details of a case. If that doesn't sound like good gossip fodder, then nothing does. A rather run-of-the-mill interaction with a lone revolutionary woman at a party. You might find yourself having many like it in the future. Speaking with a revolutionary woman, you feel like you should be able to obtain some valuable gossip. However, first you'll have to contend with an interloper, whose faux concern seems hell-bent on stymieing conversation at every turn. Those are the only one that can get me some credibility back. Vinegar does kill odor, causing bacteria, and replaces with a new stank. If you like anything else, would compound it too. Maybe use baking soda if you have it. Carpet cleaner stuff, like the gas station, if that's what I meant. Yeah. Vinegar, baking soda, yeah. Trying to clean smells feels like trying to get rid of weed stink using perfume. Making your usual rounds, you come across a man who appears to be attempting to win the good favor of a local judge. Which is, of course, why we're glad to have a man of such august reputation amongst us. Though I must ask, why are you still wearing your judiciary robes?
Oh,
Oh, don't worry about this.
The judge laughs as he tugs at the edges of his robe.
My final trial of the day was running quite late, and I didn't want to disappoint the host. I know she was very eager to see me.
You're not certain that's completely true. In fact, you're certain that this judge is the sort of person that requires a naval uniform just to take a bath.
Oh, and who might you be, madame?
Yvette Decaux, it's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm sure the honor is all mine.
The judge says quickly, not paying much attention to your introduction.
It's funny that I was almost late, he chuckles. As it happens, my last case of the day involved some prominent revolutionaries, though neither the charges against them nor the verdict have yet to be made public.
Ridiculous amount of both buttons and buttonholes. Indeed. That's, Revolutionary era French fashion for you.
I'd explain further, but this case requires discretion, and I'd hate to confuse the young lady.
Could you possibly explain further? I'm having such a difficult time following this.
It's difficult?
He asks while you lie through a vapid smile.
Yes, I suppose you could have trouble following the basics, so I can provide you a few details without violating my duties as a judge.
It's true. It's good to be around such keen and sharp minds, Your Honor.
He's quite right. There's no way I'd do something so indiscreet, such as explaining the details of this entire case.
As he proceeds to explain the details of this entire case to you, you find the case in question to be decently serious. This could be quite useful to you. With that knowledge safely stored away in your mind, you give them both a pleasant yet empty smile and pretend that you didn't pick up on any of the details. Instead, you steer the conversation towards agreeable small talk. So assured of their superiority, they don't seem to notice what they've revealed to you. It doesn't take long for you to realize that this gossip is the best you'll get out of them, so you wish them well and leave to see if there's anything else you can do at this party. Wager, meh. Some supporters of the revolution are always jumping at shadows and feverishly searching for spies in their midst. But besting such an individual might have its benefits. Forcing emptiness is so hard. I imagine it comes easier to some people than others. Vanna is a sage? Indeed. It kind of feels good to be genuinely empty about something. Sometimes, yeah. Strolling about this revolutionary party, you notice a group increasing in excitement, slowly gaining in energy as they enter a full-on state of argument and debate. Recognizing that such a state is exactly when you hear the best gossip, you start approaching them. However, as you're approaching, someone peels off from that exact group and greets you. She's smiling, but it doesn't feel friendly.
Aha.
Ah, what a lovely party! Such a wonderful gathering of revolutionary minds! The only thing that really spoils the occasion is that you can truly never be too careful. After all, while the king and queen don't have an official reason to arrest any of us, I'm sure that they'd provide a handsome reward to anyone able to find such a reason. Which is, of course, why we all have to be so careful. Wouldn't you agree? Madame, I understand that you're just trying to be vigilant, but is this really necessary? Is it necessary? She asks.
Huh.
It's not, she replies, sighing and looking more than a little embarrassed. I'm sorry, I judged you unfairly. Yay! Credibility up! Oh, pardon me, everyone, she calls out over her shoulder to the group as she steps aside and makes room for you in the circle. I'd like you to meet someone. The debating group of guests doesn't stay together for much longer, but you do manage to acquire some interesting tidbits from the conversations that you hear there. Yay, cheap revolutionary gossip. Just as you manage to finish memorizing what you just heard, the group starts to break off into tiny little clusters. Each cluster scatters to a different corner of the party to investigate new diversions and entertainments. Even the woman who was so suspicious of you earlier has already disappeared. So now I have 4 days to... As always, first things first. Le trompette de Bible. Crown gossip. Don't think I have any yet. I do have crown gossip. Cheap church gossip. Bishops call for censorship of an opera. little bit of money. Cheap revolution gossip. Book salesman recently arrested for printing profane criticism of the royal family. Punishment for vulgar slander or repression of necessary criticism. Yeah, let's increase the power of the revolution slightly. Same thing. Shocking crown gossip. Group of aristocrats have been trying to secure foreign sources of grain. Is it, as they claim, to distribute to starving farmers or to hoard it for themselves? Decrease the power of this crown. And that gives me some extra money anyway. Increase the power of the revolution. Some of Paris' foremost industrialists have been trying to deregulate the price of bread. Is it to allow bakers to have the money to make more bread, or is it to profiteer off of hunger? Could make a lot of money off this. But I feel like I'm doing pretty okay for money right now. 247 legal. Let's increase the power of the bourgeoisie. Gonna try something here. Jardin des Plantes. Relax and promenade with your liaison in this rendezvous location. These popular gardens are the ideal place to unwind and engage in a little people watching. Deciding to explore Paris today, you stroll along the southern banks of the River Seine. Barges sail up and down the river, jockeying for position with the pleasure crafts of the wealthy and the occasional floating bathhouse. A merry patron of one such bathhouse waves to you from the comfort of his tub. Just as you cross the street, you spot a verdant clearing ahead of you. Looking around at the well-manicured greenery, you realize that you've arrived at the Jardin des Plantes. It's beautiful and tranquil, a lush respite from the bustle and cacophony of the city. Couples stroll the path arm in arm. Furtive glances and nods of respect are exchanged between passing groups as people put forth their best efforts to see and be seen. Pulling out your journal, you jot down the location. This is the perfect place to go with someone who prefers down-tempo entertainments and has an eye for natural beauty. It's nice to get a break from Paris sometimes. After lingering a few minutes further, you head home. Hopefully you'll be able to visit the gardens again soon. My hope... Meh. Gossip or whatever.
I wanna meet back up with Honorad.
I really need to figure out how to decrease the power of the church and the military. Or decrease the power of the military. Yeah, I need to start focusing on decreasing the military's power, I think. Or maybe try to keep swaying the military towards the revolution. Would probably be the way to go. Alright, so nothing terribly interesting going on in Paris today, so let's just rest and see if the next day can bring something more interesting. Duke Gaspard Amboise for a triumph. Finest example of merry revelry. Created by the infamous libertine Louis-Philippe d'Orléans. This rendezvous location is a bustling garden filled with strange, adventurous, and exotic attractions. Damn it, why can't I meet Honorad again? What do I need to do to meet Honorad? Alright, let's get some updates of the political factions. You arrive at Café Principe to find it, as always, packed with customers engaged in animate conversation and gesticulating wildly with cups of steaming coffee. Finding a seat at an empty table, you're approached by Marguerite, the waitress. Welcome back! What can I get you? One house coffee, please. Oh, certainly, madame, she replies happily. Spent 3 livres. She gives you a quick curtsy before she checks in with another table, taking their order as well. You sigh and take in the cafe around you. The whole place hums with excitement as patrons make new pronouncements and trade verbal barbs with their compatriots. She returns with your coffee, steaming and hot. The porcelain cup clinks lightly as she sets it down, along with containers of sugar and milk. You take a sip of the powerful brew while Marguerite leaves to attend to other tables. Immediately, its invigorating effects become apparent. You sip at your drink and get settled in. It feels familiar, like a louder and livelier version of Le Cygne, a public house you used to frequent back home. Taking out your journal and a pencil, you close your eyes and relax, just listening to the bustling cafe. Not focusing on one individual, but letting the sum total of the room flow into your ears and assessing it all together. Occasionally, you open your eyes and jot down notes. Updated with the standings of all the political factions in Paris. After a few minutes, it becomes obvious that the revolution is significantly more powerful than the crown. While it might be possible for the crown to resist the revolution's demands, they would have to build strong alliances with the other factions in order to do so. Opening your eyes, you switch your focus to something more specific. You scan the room, looking at everyone's manner of dress and body language. You're looking for more subtle hints about where everyone's allegiances lie. More notes quickly scratched into your journal. After some consideration, you deduce that the military is the most powerful minor faction in Paris. They support the crown for now, but it wouldn't take much to swing the balance. Now that you have your bearings politically, you start becoming a little more involved with your fellow patrons. The cafe is bustling, with discussions swirling around you in an ever-flowing morass. Chairs scrape the floor as patrons get up to switch seats in order to be better positioned in their current debate. A man in the corner keeps trying to use verses from the Bible to justify the church's right to avoid taxation, but it's hard to hear him over the sound of jeering patrons. You get drawn into a conversation about the church and the bourgeoisie. Members of the bourgeoisie are saying the church should no longer be exempt from taxation. If they're gonna make money, what say you? One of the patrons asks you suddenly. The bourgeoisie is right. If the church wants to be able to own land, they should have to pay taxes. At least one of the people in the discussion feels satisfied with that answer, but not everyone seems pleased. You're certain that your opinions will be known by nearly everyone in Paris by the time the next morning comes around. Hey, gain favor with bourgeoisie and honorade. It's now late in the day, and while you're certain the conversations here will carry on long into the night, you feel like you've done what you came here to do. You say your goodbyes to the various patrons of the cafe and head home, with a little more knowledge than you had before. Yeah, I think I'd already seen all that. I think it already updated. So I don't think I needed to actually go to the... whatever. I hate wasting paint, but I love scraping thick paint. So I think my goals at this point need to be increase the power of the bourgeoisie and push the military towards the crown. And try to meet back up with my girl. Like, why is it so hard to meet back up with my girl, Honorad? My milfy lady. Alright. And we've hit 2 hours, so this is the time to end the stream. So I am going to call it a night here. We've gotten a little bit more done. Yeah, we've gotten the revolutions got a little bit more power than the crown now. Crown still has the military and the church on their side. Something about the public being the militia or whatever. So yeah, we've got the revolution has more power than the crown, but the crown has the church and military on their side, which I think gives them a bit of an advantage right now. So we gotta chip away at that advantage. Get the military on the revolution side, I think, is the way to go. Feel like it is going to take a while. See you tomorrow? Probably not tomorrow, frankly. feel like it'll take a lot of work to get the military onto the revolution side. But hopefully we'll be able to get it done before the revolution starts up. Got a couple months left. And in the meantime, we can also try to increase the bourgeoisie's power and the revolution's power. Get the revolution more powerful than the church, or than the crown. So, I think we'll be able to overthrow the crown. Only question is whether the revolution will still, whether the revolution's going to appreciate everything I'm doing for it. You know, will they be like, yeah, you're one of us? Or are they going to be like, nah, we're chopping your head off too, bitch? That's my goal, is to join the revolution. Power to the people! Liberté, égalité, fraternité. Anywho's, so yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time I'm live. So, good night for now.